I think the first question that comes to your mind, where do you want to be, right? I think I've seen organizations start this journey with what are the solutions and technology transformations we can bring into. But even before we get there, I think the message that we need to understand is, where do we really want to go? What is the end goal? What is the objective that we want to solve for? So you start by defining the end first and then begin with the actions. And when we say defining the end, you're literally looking at, what are those problem areas and the key aspects you want to really solve? And do they also, imbibe and reflect your company vision, your company values, and they're not separate? And once you get those objectives right, I think what's important is, now what are those actions and what are those different steps you need to take in order to go there? Because now you have direction and we want to move in that direction. So what's the kind of data you need? What are the kind of channels you want to service? How often is this review going to be? And most importantly, what about change, right? Your change management, and how does everybody adopt it? So I think all of this, and the funny part about it and the reality about this is, like I said, it's not easy, right? So when your clients ask you something, it's sometimes direct, it's easy to understand, and very often we do see that it's vague or it's unclear. So they ask, for example, and in some of my experiences where your customer says, why is my satisfaction score really poor? Or how can I understand my customer demand? And the reality that we get into such kind of issues is, they want to go ahead with digital deployment, but there is no data to support it. Another scenario that we have seen is, there's got lots of data. Either it is completely untouchable because that data is bound with policies and procedures that nobody can look at, or it is where you have so many data points and it's difficult to choose which ones are really relevant. And there are different solutions for each of these. In my experience, there are times when you had to enhance data sets, or you had to create a new or a manual data capture, especially when you just can't touch, data, or you're looking at redesigning the entire journey and capturing it off to really understand those impacts of the journey. And in each of these, we've either seen, at the end, we really see those benefits, right? So yeah, I think, that whole digital transformation and operation starts with where you want to go, trying to interpret the actual question of where you want to be, solve it, and then realize the benefits. And Loretta, if I would just go back and give a kind of a use case, so what we did for one of our clients, right? This was a client of ours which was looking more into, say, the EdTech vertical, and they were really keen for that one period during your August, September, and wanted to understand what those demands were for those back to school days. And why were those demands? They had platforms, they had newly acquired platforms, they had new training material, but where was that breakdown where we could actually go back? So the ask was, what are those demands? Why do we have such increasing demands? While the solution that we actually had to look into involved a whole lot of layering of analytics, where we started giving them weekly insights, but that was really not enough. What really answered their query was when we lifted the hood and actually went into a deeper second or third level insights and tried and understood what those programs were, where those bottlenecks were. And we did find issues, say, around your website links, around understanding what was trained is not what your teachers experience on the website, so a mismatch. So yeah, just an example of what you intend may not really be what they want to allude to. So you've got to go down back to your basics, trying to define the digital transformation, and then begin.